Yeah, I can do it.
Good evening. We are calling the Town Council Committee of the Whole Special Meeting Agenda to order. This is our budget meeting. It is March 27th, 2025, and it is 6:03 p.m. And all councilors are present. Our new business is 2025-288-1, FYE 2026 proposed budget. And with that, I would like to do something a little differently this year. It has come to our, as we had our meeting last night with the budget and it was a public hearing, one resident made a comment stating, the town's budget, that they looked over it and they think that the town manager's budget was so good and that with such a small increase of 3% that we should, as a council, move quickly and swiftly to pass the budget. So with that, I have a motion prepared to move to approve the FYE 2026 town manager budget without capital projects and Board of Education for a total of $81,023,819.
Second.
Moved by Franco, seconded by Parker.
Could you repeat the number, please?
Yes, I'm going to say the numbers, 81,023,819. Now, what this means is that we would pass the majority of the whole budget. We would come back at another date to review our capital improvement projects and the Board of Education budget. And everything that the town manager has in his budget, that this whole book, basically, almost, that majority of I would hope that all of councilors have reviewed their whole budget book, as I have, and done their due diligence in there and recognize that it's a really good budget. And I personally don't see much of anything to change in that part of the budget. With that, I will open it up for comments. Councilor Gajewski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I agree with this motion. I've gone through this budget countless times over the past week. For those watching at home, we got the budget on March 15th-ish, somewhere around that date. So I've been reviewing it constantly for 2 weeks. An occasional phone call to the town manager to ask a question. Most of my concerns are with how the CIP, some of those are funded. And then the Board of Ed, I have some further questions, which is, I believe it's roughly 60% of the overall budget. Just kind of a couple questions, but my questions are good. I've done my due diligence, and it's tight. It's only a 3% increase. And then I looked at the city of Groton and Groton Long Point, which are our subdivisions. The city of Groton's, I believe, is just north of 4%, and then GLP was actually asking for less money, so it's a decrease in their budget. So it's really, everyone has really done a due diligent, tight job on this portion of the budget, and there's not much questions I have. There's not really any questions I have, and I feel comfortable moving this forward onto the RTM. So that's where I'm at, and I support the motion on the floor. Thank you.
Yeah. Councilor Parker?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I am in agreement. I don't know if y'all can see it on TV, but I have mine tabbed. I do this, we've been doing this a long time, and this year has been tight, and I want to thank Mr. Burt for his due diligence, as well as the department heads and subdivisions on doing their work. This is a good budget, and I'm happy with it. Thank you.
Councilor Rusk?
Sure, I'll speak to it. Like everybody who has spoken so far, I have gone through this book backwards and forwards. I don't have many questions. I think everybody has done a very good job. I say thank you to all of the directors, everybody who has inputted into this budget, and thank you to the town manager for keeping this so tight. A 3% increase is a normal increase for a municipality. I do want to go over the CIPs and the Board of Ed. The Board of Ed is like was stated, is about 60% of our budget, and I think it's really important that we at least look at it, as well as the CIPs, and see if there's any cost savings there. But I am comfortable with the motion on the floor.
All right, seeing no other hands, I'm going to call for a vote.
One more.
Oh, Counselor McBride.
Sorry, I was just doing some math. And I'm not completed, so I don't know if, I'm in support of this initiative or motion or whatever it is as well. I do have one stipulation though, because I commend Town Manager Burr and his actions and his staff to bring in a budget that's extremely solid, and I, as long as the other counselors have been here for a couple of years doing this, so it is a solid budget. I do have one question or comment though. I completely agree, town functions, we should move forward with. However, I do question outside agencies and subdivisions, and the reason being is, maybe this is a question for Town Manager Burt, but those areas, like you've, through the mayor, through Town Manager Burt, the town manager functions, you go through and you scroll through and you make changes and revisions, but is it safe to assume that with the outside agencies and the subdivisions, what they submit to you comes to us?
The outside agencies I do, of course, a few of them are prescribed in law that we have to spend it, like probate is set, we have to spend a few of those things.
Okay.
But yes, I do go through those and have the ability to change those on the outside agencies, not subdivisions though.
Okay, so so just so I'm clear, so the outside agencies that you're submitting to us, you have reviewed, you've made revisions to them, and you're comfortable with those numbers?
Yes.
Okay, then I guess back to the subdivisions. So the subdivisions, that comes to us as submitted to you then? Is that correct? You don't necessarily make any changes to those?
Correct, I do review it, and I also ask questions of the city. And of course, we have the 3 and 3 committee that meet on the highway to ask all their questions.
Okay, can you maybe elaborate, so the residents know the 3 on 3 committee and how that process is reviewed?
Sure, it's, the process of budgeting for the subdivisions are prescribed in law, but ultimately what happens is the city, and the city sends 3 representatives, the town sends 3 representatives to hash over the budget, to ask any questions, to see if there's any changes they might wish to see, and that occurred 2 or 3 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. But when I first get the budget, which is required in by February 28th, as soon as I get it, I review it and I ask Mayor Hedrick any questions I have, so I can pass along any concerns I have, and I have none with the city, no concerns for me.
Okay, so you're comfortable with the city of Groton, Groton Long Point, and the fire districts as they stand in this budget?
Yes, and the fire districts are set by our policy.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And yeah, and we've double checked to make sure all the numbers are correct in the spreadsheet.
Okay, I was going to move another motion, but you explained that. You enlightened me on the review was done for areas that I didn't think was done, so thank you.
Counselor Bordelon.
Thank you. I, like everyone else, mark up my book and work really hard to go through it. It's no discredit to the town manager's budget. Like, I'm not saying he didn't do his due diligence. I think he did a great job. The percent is great. But I feel like we're elected at large to go through it line by line, and folks in each of these departments have a chance to speak to their budgets. And I think that's very vital of part of our overview and just making sure that that is done. So for me, we can go through it, but I think if we're gonna accept it, which in fact we could, I think we should go to each one of them, and if there's not any questions, open it up just to see, to ask the questions, but just completely just pushing it through really bypasses the ability that the council has and opening up for proper democracy and questions on that. Again, thanks to the town manager for what he's done. I think it is a fair budget. But the comment that was made by one constituent of the community, and it didn't say necessarily not to go through each of them, and we might just pass exactly what the manager has, but I think we need to do that process, which I could, I'd be willing to do. But to just say and not bring anything to the fore, because some people in here are getting a 8% increase, some departments are higher and lower, some are 6, those things should be talked about. And so to say overall it's a 3%, yes, that's wonderful, but there are just some discrepancies in the percents where some are higher than others. So for me, just to pass it without the proper oversight, to me, I don't feel it's fiscally responsible, and I speak for myself. So I would not support that, but I do thank the town manager for his efforts in bringing forth a very clean budget and your hard work. I do think the process could move faster with that in mind, but I do think that we should follow or condense, maybe shorten our schedule and make it, since it's going to be much quicker, if everybody here is such agreement that it's fine, then maybe this schedule would only be a 2-day schedule and we move it right along. But I think that needs to happen, and that's, really important. So I won't be supporting that, but I do thank the town manager for his hard work.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any more hands, so we're going to take a vote on moving the FY '26 town manager budget without capital projects and the Board of Education for a total amount of $81,023,819. All right, we're going to go in order. Counselor Parker, we're going to start with your side.
Ooh, yes.
Counselor Gajewski.
Yes.
Counselor McBride.
I'll abstain.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Rusk.
Yes.
Counselor Pacino.
Yes.
Counselor Bordelon.
No.
Counselor Merritt.
Yes.
I am a yes. That passes 7 to 1 to 1, with Counselor Bordelon a no and Counselor McBride abstaining. So we will now recess the meeting until our next meeting, which is on Monday, March 31st. So if anybody has any questions regarding this motion that was just moved, you may want to contact Mr. Burt at the town hall. Thank you, everybody.